On tonight's edition of The Overtime, we give you an update on high school baseball. NAU Golf is heading to the Big Sky Championship next weekend. And the Diamondbacks open their season on Monday. We have a season preview. Thank you for joining us and welcome to this edition of The Overtime, Northern Arizona's only sports show. I'm your host, Schikner. We have a packed show for you tonight with a lot of local sports action, and joining me is sports reporter Jaydee Dyrer. Jaydee, thanks for being here.
It's a pleasure as always, Haley.
Right. Well, we've got a packed show tonight, so let's jump right into our first topic, which is high school baseball. Both MPA and Coconino got off to a hot start this season, but Flagstaff struggled a bit in the beginning. How are they looking now, Jaydee?
Well, unfortunately, the season hasn't started well for Flagstaff Eagles. If we consider their pitchers, they've really struggled to find their zones consistently. We knew from the beginning of the season, that losing so many key players was always going to have an impact on their final standings. And even though they have real potential within their team, on the diamond, they're really not demonstrating it. However, with my most recent encounter with Coach DeBouche, he still confirms that he believes he can turn the fortunes of the team around. In comparison, MPA have come out here from the preseason on fire and posed an incredible overall record already, which has seen them notch out some impressive victories. But it is the senior, Michael Heffernan, who has gained a real reputation for himself over the season. The heavy hitter has been incredible and posted an impressive .676 batting average. He's intimidating most of his opponents before he even starts. Just note, individually, he has 5 of his team's 6 home runs already this year. This kid is proving that he has got real game. But, Haley, I know you kept a keen eye on some of the Coconino Panthers baseball players. Can you tell me a little something about them?
Yeah, now the Coconino Panthers have been on fire this season so far. They just earned their 9th straight win last Saturday against Page in a 17-5 victory, ending in the 5th in the Mercy Rule. This team is led by manager Daniel Vander Walk, who says that aggressive base running is what they stress to their players, and that is pretty evident when the Panthers are on the diamond. Sophomore Christian Casados has been doing his team proud recently, especially leading the Panthers to a 13-1 victory also against Page last Sunday. He's doing very well as a young pitcher on the team, and I must say, most of the Panthers' victories this season have not been close games. The Panthers are blowing their opponents out there, with victories like 13-3 over Mojave and 15-4 over Winslow. I'm interested to see if the Panthers can keep up this hot streak and look forward to seeing how they close out their season. All right, let's move over to our next topic, which is high school track. They're in the middle of their season as well, and Flagstaff, Coco, and MPA have been hot this season. How are they looking, Jaydee?
Well, all 3 teams have had mixed fortunes in regards to the starts of their track and field season. Firstly, if we look at MPA, the Spartans have taken their time to warm into a few invitationals so far this season and haven't really left their mark on any competitions as of yet. However, the efforts of track performer Ryan Kelly hasn't gone unnoticed in an up and down season. His respective performances in both the 100 metres and 200 metres has led him to overall finishes of 14th in both events respectively, most recently as invitational at the Red Rock in Sedona. Now, if we compare that with Flag High, the Eagles have recently hit their best form of the season with an impressive overall finish of 4th at the same Red Rock Invitational. Individual accolades were not really won, but the collective effort and the consistency to gain points in most of the events really demonstrated the depth of their whole track and field roster. Nothing exemplified this more than their impressive time of 9 minutes and 12 seconds in the 4x800 relay, which showed them as a real overachievers as they finished 3rd, but more importantly, highlighted their great development of athletes currently at Flag High. But Haley, after speaking with you earlier, I know you said there was another athlete this week who really caught your eye.
Yeah, Jaydee, I'm looking at senior Trey Perkins on Coconino. This guy has been dominating all season long, earning himself 2 more individual wins last weekend at Sedona Red Rocks. He also earned 3rd in pole vault, 4th in high jump, took the top spot in the 300-meter hurdles, and his contribution to his 4x4 relay team. There doesn't seem to be anything this kid can't do. He's really going all out for his last season with the Panthers. His versatility on the track is really helping this team move forward this season. Okay, now next up, the NAU women's golf team is closing out their season in the next few weeks and are heading to the Big Sky Championship. Jaydee, how is the team looking thus far?
It's mixed. Well, the NE women's golf team, preparations are pretty much complete now. Before the Big Sky Conference Championships, they concluded their last invitational at Wyoming's Cowgirl Classic in Arizona earlier this week. The Lumberjacks finished their two-day tournament, which consisted of 3 rounds, and finished overall 12th and 3rd amongst their Big Sky rivals, with an overall score of 919. The performances and the form of their conference rivals would have really gained the attention of the girls, especially with the championships being so close. But on a few individual positive notes, Kim Cifuentes posted a very good score, 3rd round score, of 244 and led 2 final rounds of 73. This would have given her a huge confidence going into the championships. Whilst her partner in crime, Brittany McKay, finished a strong 2nd for the Jacks with an overall position of 35th with a score of 228 respectively.
Yeah, after finishing the Cowgirl Classic on Tuesday, the Jacks finished 12th overall and 3rd in the Big Sky. Kim Cifuentes led the Jacks and finished 19th overall and 6th in the Big Sky. The Jacks are off this coming week, but are heading to Chandler, Arizona next weekend for the Big Sky Championships, April 19th through the 21st. And last but certainly not least, we have the Arizona Diamondbacks. After a long offseason, it is time for baseball once again. After a busy offseason that brought new players, a new manager, and a new GM to the team, how are the Diamondbacks looking as the 2015 season gets underway?
Well, Haley, you know as a huge baseball fan, the winter always seems that little bit longer after a disappointing season. And the wounds from 2014 would have taken some time to heal for the Diamondback fans, especially during their postseason. But there is no doubt that the team has undergone radical changes within the last 12 months. At least half of their roster from just a year ago not making the roster for the start of the 2015 season. I understand there's a lot of unproven talent in this team, especially when 4/5 of the starting infield, bar Paul Goldschmidt, only totals a combination of 228 Major League games between them. But it is the same potential that has created an aura of optimism over the 2015 campaign. No one seems to be leading this team by more of an example than 3rd baseman Jake Lamb, who set a team record with 7 RBIs during the first 2 games. It seems that glorious possibilities that 2015 holds could actually bring a shining light.
Well, the D-backs pitching rotation will look a lot different this year, as new addition Jeremy Hellickson and Ruby De La Rosa will both be taking the hill to start games for the D-backs. The player I'm looking forward to seeing in this rotation is rookie right-hander Archie Bradley. Bradley was the 7th overall pick by the team in 2011 and having a tough year at Triple-A last year. He dominated in spring training, posting a 1.61 ERA in 22 innings. Bradley will make his MLB debut tomorrow night as the Diamondbacks take on the Dodgers at Chase Field. Thanks, Jaydee, for being here. We'll see you a little bit later in the show. Coming up after the break, sports reporter Cody Cameron headed to spring football practice and caught up with some of the players and coaches. We've got that coming up next. Welcome back. With the NAU spring football game 2 weeks out, Cody Cameron caught up with Coach Sowers and some of the players to see their expectations and what they're working on for the upcoming game and the 2015 fall season. Check it out.
The NAU football team has had some exciting seasons this past couple of years, and with the spring game right around the corner, the Jacks are back at practice preparing for the 2015 season. I talked to some of the players and coaches about some new offensive changes as well as the defense for the 2015 season. Running back Casey Yon talks about stepping into a leadership role for the Jacks this season as well as a new offensive look.
You know, I'm just trying to be encouraging to the younger guys. We got a whole new offense going in this year, and I guess my goal is to help integrate that as easy as possible, and just encourage the new guys and, you know, keep the ball rolling. Well, this year it's going to be an exciting year. We're going to be hopefully scoring a lot of points, going a lot faster, lots of actions at the game. We got Corbin Junty. He's a baller. He's always out there. He's going to be running hard. You guys will see him doing some good things out there, along with Kelly Wood and Aaron Dorsett, and then and finally Jesse Brookins. All of us. And, you know, we might even throw some receivers in there to run the ball a little bit too. So it'll be fun to watch. Head coach Jerome Sowers talks about the team's progression so far this spring, as well as changes to the offense.
Well, I tell you, I like the buy-in to some of the things that we're doing. Our football team's working very hard. They've got a great improvement mentality. The things that they're doing on the field, in the weight room, are all positive. I see tremendous growth in this team for early in the off season. Well, we've added a tempo component to our offense. We're able to, run more plays. We'd like to utilize some of the talent that we've recruited in the last couple of years and be more diverse in our attack. I think we have guys on the perimeter, not just at running back, but the receiver and tight end positions that are capable of making plays. And so we'd like to broaden our approach, broaden our attack, and be able to do it with a higher tempo.
All-American defensive back Marcus Alford touches on his new leadership role along with some breakout defenders to watch out for next season.
Just trying to raise everyone in our secondary and on our defense level to the level of mine, and that starts with leading by example. My coaches are on me tough about having high intensity every day, and so I kind of picked the defense up with me. The secondary, we have me, Darius Lewis, Eddie Horn coming back, Delvin Batiste started some games. We have Wes Sutton, who's going to be a true sophomore. He's the real deal. He played up more towards the end of the season, but I'm really excited about him. And I think we have our entire defensive line back, minus one guy. So they'll be much improved, and we have Moose and Jake, and we have some young linebackers also that are playing real physical and nasty in there, and that's how you like it.
Now the NAU spring game is April 25th and is open to public right here on these fields. For NEZ Today, I'm Cody Cameron.
All right, thanks Cody for that. And Sam Oceans, you have our previews for sports. What's going on?
That's right, I'm Sam Oceans, and I have your preview for this weekend in sports. The Flagstaff High School softball team travels to Paradise Valley tomorrow and will play the Trojans at 11 a.m. The Northland Prep Spartan baseball teams and softball teams are hosting the Mayer High School Wildcats tomorrow at Sonawa Middle School. Baseball begins at 12 p.m. and softball begins at 11 a.m. Switching over to the tennis court, both of the Flagstaff Eagle tennis teams will make the short trip to Northland Prep tomorrow, where they will face the Spartans. The Lady Eagles look to build some momentum going into next week as they will play 2 sectional matches against Prescott and Mingus Union. As for the boys, they look to continue their tremendous season, which has seen 5 9-0 wins. Both those games will be at Northland Prep, beginning with the boys at 11 a.m. and the girls following at 1:30 p.m. NAU men's tennis welcomes Weber State to the Continental Country Club. The Jacks are looking to break a 3-match losing streak as the Jacks lost all 3 matches on their last road trip. The match begins at 1 p.m. on Sunday. As for the women, they will host the Utah State tomorrow at 9 a.m. and Portland State on Sunday beginning at 10 a.m. Both those matches will be played at the Continental Country Club. All the results for NAU men's and women's tennis can be found on jackcentral.com. NAU track and field will participate in the Sun Angel Invitational in Tempe tomorrow. The Jacks look to continue their fantastic season, which has included a 1st place for the men and a 3rd place for the women in the most recent Big Sky Conference tournament. Well, that's all we've got for this weekend. In sports, for the overtime, I'm Sam Oceans. Back to you, Haley.
Thanks, Sam. And those sports look great. Jaydee, what are you doing this weekend?
I think I'm definitely going to go down and see the boys this Sunday when they play the tennis team. I think the in-conference rivalry against Weber State will be really interesting. It'll be good to see how Jordan, Kester, and a lot of the other boys get on. How about yourself?
Yeah, I think I might check that out too. It doesn't seem like there's too much going on here in Flagstaff, so I think maybe I'll go check them out. I haven't seen them to play. Thank you so much for joining us. Join us next week on The Overtime.